Welcome back to another episode of the Football Discuss podcast. We have been gone for a while. Last time we were here, we said we wouldn't be gone for a while.
Hey, it's only been 3
That's all I've
weeks.
got.
That's better than what we usually
Nothing
do
happened.
in our
Nothing's been
breaks.
happening in football. Football's boring at the
Football is
moment.
overrated.
It
I don't
depends. It
know why you
depends who you
guys come to this
support, but
channel.
football's boring. Okay, so
We'll
yeah,
kick
today
things
we'll
off.
talk only about a couple things. Try and keep it short and sweet. We'll talk about Tottenham. We'll talk about Barcelona a little bit because had a change of manager over there. So
Premier League
ruffling some
stuff,
feathers in
anything,
Catalonia.
anything that comes up. This is a waffling episode.
Yeah, it's a
All
waffle
right.
episode. You've tuned into a waffle episode.
Spurs,
All
I
right, you're our
reckon.
Premier League man. Talk to us. Talk to me about Tottenham first of all, and Conte. 'Cause
All right.
that's the
So
big story.
basically, Nuno Espirito Santo, the ex
Say it again.
Spurs man.
Say it again.
Nuno Espirito Santo.
Espírito Santo.
Santo. You can get the
Nuno
FC Wonder Kid
Espírito
on
Santo.
TikTok. You can get that Portuguese guy to correct me, but I'm pretty sure I nailed
I
it.
hate that guy.
Anyways,
I'm
so
more than
basically,
happy to have internet beef with that guy.
hit us up. This is where it starts. Internet beef starts now.
Internet beef with FC Wonder Kid.
So basically, my man got sacked on the weekend after being absolutely pummeled by Man United, who got pummeled the weekend before that. So that's even more sad, that the fact that like they managed to get beaten by us after our horrific display last weekend. But nonetheless, I feel like it's a situation where we won the battle, Man United, right? But they've won the war because they're getting Antonio Conte and we're still stuck with Solskjaer. So, it was a small price to pay for salvation. This is the way I see it. I kind of wish we lost now, because now they're gonna end up doing better than us in the long run. Yeah, but what do you reckon about Conte coming into Spurs? More or less confirmed now, but if Fabrizio has it, here we go.
Yeah, Fabrizio Romano said, "Here we go." So we'll talk about it as if it's confirmed because Fabrizio never wrong.
No, doesn't miss.
Look, Conte is a great manager. I think what he did at Inter, has shown that he's a great manager, especially in terms of man management. I feel like he really gets the best out of players and really helps players grow. Like what he did with Lukaku was awesome, right? But I think the problem at the end of the day is Spurs don't have a good enough squad to compete with the likes of City and Liverpool, United, Chelsea. Those 4 top teams have got awesome squads, like with Man United less, but the top 3 teams, let's call them Chelsea, Liverpool and Man City, they've got great depth. They've got arguably a team of superstars, both of them. So I don't personally see, even with Conte, how Tottenham competes with such a high level. What do you think?
No, but like that's the point that I was getting at with my dad, who's a Spurs fan. Like, it doesn't matter who you bring in at this point in time, and I think it was wrong for them to sack Nuno after like just a couple months, because at the end of the day, it's not really his fault. Their team is not that good. It hasn't been that good since Pochettino and then made it to the final, and it really just begs the question as to why Kane wasn't sold for over £100 million and then use that money to rebuild the entire squad. Because they've shown in recent seasons that, because Kane gets injured at least once every season and they end up playing better without him, or do really well without him. The whole that road to the final that season pretty much was without Kane, and other players step up, and they should have used that money for other players. And it's going to be interesting to see how he implements it, because he'll obviously want to play a 3-5-2. It's his go-to formation. I could see you could put Reguilon, Doherty, because he was used to the formation back at Wolves. You got your Diaz, who's shit. You've got Sanchez, shit. Like it's really, like, even then, you're just wondering how he's going to get the best out of these players.
I don't think selling Harry Kane is the solution to the issue. I think obviously we've spoken on Harry Kane before. Harry Kane is a phenomenal player. And definitely, with what happened over the summer at Tottenham, is he the guy to lead Tottenham to a successful season? I don't know. I think you'd have to get a Tottenham fan to kind of argue that, but I just don't see selling Harry Kane for me. Yes, that gives you 100 million, but Spurs haven't been doing good business anyways. Like
Mm.
Son was the last really world class player that they signed. Obviously Lucas Moura's been good. Regulon's
And
been really
Dombele.
good, and Dombele.
Regulon's a bit, and Regulon's been
Dombele's
up
been
and
there for
down.
years, and he's not. And Dombele's not
Mm.
brought anything spectacular. Like it's a kind
Mm.
of Pogba at United
Underperformed.
situation where there's a lot of talent there, but the performances, aren't just aren't. Yeah, I don't know, good enough. Look, I don't watch Spurs games to be honest,
I don't
but
blame you.
for me, well, for me, I just don't think, they signed Brian Hill.
Mm.
Has he got great potential? Absolutely, but he's not the solution to the problem at Spurs. I feel
No.
like if you're Spurs, you got to sign, you got to sign some quality, because you've gone through how many managers in the last 3 seasons? Pochettino was great, Jose was arguably quite good, and now you've
For what
got,
he had.
yeah, for what he had, Jose did well, and now, and you had the young guy, whatever his name was, and now you had
Yeah, that young
Nuno.
guy. Oh, Ryan
Nuno,
Mason.
I don't know why they signed Nuno anyway. I mean, Nuno didn't do anything spectacular at Wolves.
He was their
It's
sixth
not
choice, to be fair. It's like I said,
well,
no one really wants to join Spurs at the end of the day. They got to take
yeah,
what they can get, really.
and I think for Conte, it's kind of like a middle of the road gig.
Mm.
I think Spurs have the money to pay him, whereas
Mm.
a team that wanted to cut costs, because he can charge whatever he wants. The guy's done it all. So
Well, that's the thing, is that they tried to get him in the summer, um, originally, but like I believe it was because they weren't willing to pay his wages and everything, and now he's actually asking for more because it's midway through. Well, not midway through the season, but it's like in the middle of a season. So
yeah,
like it's just a lose-lose situation for them. But it's surprising to me that he's actually going there, because I'm surprised he's not waiting for, like, I don't know, because I still think Solskjaer's job isn't safe at all. Not in the slightest. It doesn't matter that he won 3-0 on the weekend. One result doesn't change the shithouse of a season we've had so far. So I'm surprised he's not waiting for that. And yeah, like originally Fabrizio Romano said that Conte doesn't like joining teams midway through a season, but he was willing to make an exception for United because he feels he can do good with the squad that they already have. It's like, what good does he think he can do with the Spurs squad at this point? It's pretty fucking hopeless.
I
That's
think
There's not much
I
there
think
for you to
to
really
be
go off
honest,
of.
I think Ole's job is really only in danger if you guys slip out of Champions League, which you're not in at the
Hmm.
moment, I don't think.
Hmm.
But I think you've now got a slightly easier run of games, if that's right.
So we're top of our group, and the Atalanta game that we've got coming up tomorrow night should, if we win that one, it more or less confirms our spot in the next round. More or less, we'll still have to play Villarreal and Young Boys again, which you'd hope with the young. I know we lost to Young Boys last time, but you would hope that was a slip up due to the Wan-Bissaka red card. It's kind of more or less. If we win that next game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, but I mean, back to Tottenham, I feel for Tottenham fans because it's you support a club that has such a big financial backing, but there's not really any movement of money. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, they've got the
You're
money,
not,
they just don't spend it.
they've got the money, but they're just not spending it. Whether they're not spending it or not, I just don't think they're spending it correctly,
That's another thing. It's
mind
two
you.
different ways to look at it. Yeah.
Two different ways to look at it. Again, we're not Tottenham fans. We don't watch Tottenham games, so we don't fully understand the issue.
Mm,
But the results aren't there, and the results haven't been there for a long time. So something has to
yeah.
change. And will Conte bring a change to that? Will they win? Will they win the league? No, I don't think so. Um,
Yeah.
does Conte bring some maturity to a squad, and allows players to develop properly, and gives players that have had issues with whatever you want to call it, maturity, discipline, whatever
Mm.
you want to call it, does it give them someone who's going to stick them in line? I think so, because he's not a Jose.
No.
He's not this egotistical maniac. He's not a guy with no experience, and he's not a guy that's done a pretty average job at Wolves.
Yeah.
So I think he can only really do good for Tottenham.
But it would be stepping stones. Like the only problem is that I guess Conte, the longest Conte has been at the club is 3 years, so he's essentially a short-term fix at the end of the day.
I think
So it's
so.
what he can achieve. We'll give it
But when
3 years then,
when
if
you
that's the
look at
longest,
managers these days, not many managers are doing long stints anymore.
No,
There's
you don't see your
the
Fergusons, you don't see your
you don't
Wengers these days.
see, no, not at all. You don't see that much anymore. I
Mm,
think managers get traded really quickly, when
mm,
something's going wrong, especially when you look at United. I mean, United have been getting all sorts of flack from, whether it's pundits or pundits that, are United legends.
yeah.
You guys have been copying all sorts of flack for, your players' attitudes and the way they go about it, and, whether they're putting in 100% or not.
Mm.
That's not the, I don't know if that's, you can partially blame
Yeah,
the
no,
manager
I
for that,
agree.
but you can't wholeheartedly blame Ole for, Paul Pogba giving the ball away in midfield and not running back to. There's not. What can you do? Like,
Mm,
do you know what I mean? It's.
I know.
I just.
I,
I just want to stick with Ole for a second. So what? So
mm.
you definitely want Ole out. What? Who would you replace Ole with? Apart from obviously Conte
Well,
is no longer
yeah.
an
So
option.
if Conte wasn't an option, I don't think Zidane was ever an option. I don't think he would want to come to the Premier League. I don't think. Yeah, I
I don't
don't
think
think
he'd
that would
want to
have worked
come
out.
to United. Let's put it
So
that way.
at this point in time, really, there's no one because we're already short on like the Conte was really like the only proper option. And then
People are
like
yelling
a
out.
lot of
People are yelling out Brendan Rodgers and all
yeah, no.
sorts.
I really like ideally if I got to pick any well not any manager, if like I want to pick a realistic manager to join us, I would love the Ajax manager, Eric Ten Hag.
Mm,
I think he would be
yeah, he's awesome.
amazing for us. I think he would be amazing
He's
like
awesome.
to take the
That's
squad to the next level, but it would be hard to prime away from Ajax, and definitely you're not going to do that midway through the season as well.
nah, it's hard.
No, that'd
I
be the
think
only option.
that's actually a good segue because that's who I really wanted to replace Ronald Koeman. I
Mm.
think that what Eric is it Ten Hag?
Mm-hmm.
Ten Hag or Hentag?
I think it's Ten Hag. Someone will
Anyway,
correct us,
Eric.
anyways. I'm
Yeah,
pretty sure
someone
it's
will
Ten
correct.
Hag though.
Anyways, Eric, what he's done at Ajax is awesome. He brought that Ajax team with De Jong and De Ligt to a Champions League final, and now
Semi-final,
they
semi-final. Mm-hmm.
semi-final. And now they went on and whooped Borussia Dortmund in the first leg of that game.
Mm-hmm.
Man, they've Ajax have always been a great academy that has produced spectacular youngsters, but
Mm-hmm.
what he's done and the way that those boys want to run for him, man.
Mm-hmm.
If you watch the Ajax game, they're just committed. Like
Mm-hmm.
they just want to be there. They want to do that extra. It's
Yeah.
and they all work together nicely, which
Mm.
is something that I think both of our teams at the moment are struggling with,
Yeah.
uh, being a team.
Tell you what he does have at that Ajax team is he has a system and he has a structured way of playing, which is
Oh yeah.
you cannot find like that glimmer of that at any of our football clubs, like at all, not even a single
No, if
bit.
you look
Like,
at if you look at clubs that you can look at and they have a system, you look at Man City, you look at
mhm,
Liverpool, you look at Ajax. Now we're talking about. You look at Bayern.
Chelsea,
Those clubs have Chelsea as well. Those
mm,
clubs have a genuine system that they go out every week or just about every week. Opponents differ and situations change, but they go out every week. They play just about the same way, and it works. Because every player knows where he should be at which time, what to do, who to players, and it's you've got a similar squad every week, so you're not playing with like the situation over at Barcelona where you've got a different squad every week with 17, 18, 19 year olds.
yeah,
It's
inconsistency.
just
That's what it'll
there's
just
no
breed
consistency, there's
inconsistency.
no system. It's
Mm.
And there hasn't been a system like at Ajax because he's been there for a number of years now. The players that have stayed there and the mature players, you've got your Daily Blins, even Davinares,
Hmm.
your players that have been there for a while.
Tadic.
Yeah, Dusan Tadic as well. They're able to preach that system and help the young guys that come through,
Hmm.
pick up that system. They're able to
Yeah.
work as a team in that way. Whereas some other teams now that have had different, you look at Tottenham as well, different manager, different manager, different manager.
Mm.
Every manager wants to implement his own or their own system into something. So you're playing a different way every week, or every week, but every year
Hmm.
you're playing a different way. You don't know what to do. You got to start from zero. So
Yeah.
I think it's hard. I think
Yeah.
if you haven't got someone permanent, it's really really hard. But
Hmm.
segueing into Barcelona properly, we now are in a transition period with Sergi Barjuan,
Hmm.
and then we will
So
have
interim coach, right? Just for now, right?
yes, yeah, yeah,
Where's he
interim
from?
coach.
Like
He's
the youth
he's he
academy or
was a
something?
Barcelona player. I think he coached in the youth academy. I don't know if
Right.
he's a coach at Barca B, but I
Hmm.
think he coached in the youth academy. He used to play for us, a long, long time ago. Um, and he was quite good from what I've researched. Obviously, that doesn't say anything as a manager, but
Hmm.
yeah, he's the interim coach. First game against Deportivo Alaves, 1-1. We scored fairly early on, and I was impressed by the way that we controlled the game early on.
Hmm.
They scored just defensive laps, like honestly hurt my head
Mm.
watching
Well,
us
that
get
is the problem with your team at
four or
the
five
moment.
players get dribbled. PK's left on his ass, yelling at people.
Hmm.
There's nothing you can do. One glimmer of superstar, and that's why we lost to Real Madrid. That's why we lost to Bayern because you've got these superstars. Vinicius has been in fine form.
Oh,
Vinicius
he's been killing it.
posed.
It is
Oh,
insane
he gave us
how.
so many problems in one. It was like they had Ronaldo all of a sudden.
Mm. But
Oh my goodness, he was
how
he
amazing
was
is it
so
how that
good.
he's just turned it around? Like, we've
I
always said
think
how amazing of
good
a player he could
management,
be.
good,
How
and
amazing
not
of a player he could
necessarily
be when
good.
he
Yeah,
finishes.
100%, 100%. And he's been, man, he's just dangerous. Like he just
Mm.
is. Talking about Xavi properly, I've had a look at what he's done at Al Sadd, and I was following kind of passively over the years what he's doing at Al Sadd.
It always looked like he would manage
They
Barcelona one day.
they brother, they play some great football. They're like they're like a
No,
Saudi Barcelona, let me tell you, or Barcelona
there is
back in the
no
day.
way.
Bro,
Uh,
they play some great football. It's actually cool to watch. It's so man, some of the goals that they
it's hard
score
for me to
is
take you
class.
seriously here, man.
What
With
do you mean?
this, it's just funny how you say, yeah, it's a Saudi Barcelona.
Bro, they're a Saudi Barca. Like, bro, go and watch their highlights. I'm being dead
I'm
serious.
gonna have to watch it
I'm
now.
brother, I'm being dead serious. Pull up some outside highlights. You will not be disappointed. You'll want Xavi at Man United.
I'll take anyone at Man United at this point. Like, you act like we've got one of the best managers in the world. I'll take
No, but
anyone at this point.
seriously, um, no, I think Xavi will bring. I think Xavi will bring some good things hopefully because I wasn't convinced. I'll be really honest with you. I wasn't convinced, and I thought, this is too early for Xavi. Like they're kind of dropping him into a situation where it's a bit like Tottenham,
Hmm.
where the the class isn't there to win the league or to win the Champions League. When you've got
Hmm.
um, Real Madrid and Atletico Madrid, even Real Sociedad's been awesome this year. When you've got
Hmm.
Sevilla's looking good, when you've got great squads in the league, and your squad just isn't there, especially with injuries and things like that.
Hmm.
I thought, man, they're putting him in the deep end here, and it's gonna be really, really hard to find success right away.
Well, that's what the
But
thing.
no,
You
I
just got to be
think
patient as a fan. You've just got to really
yeah,
accept the fact that
yeah.
you guys are not what you used to be, and that it's going to
No,
take
and I've
time for
I've
whoever comes in. You know.
Yeah, definitely. And I've accepted that, as a fan of Barcelona, I sit there and watch the games and, I the way I imagine things um to look and to play and how it
Mhm.
used to be, I sit there and I'm like, man, why don't you play that pass? Why don't you move here? Why
Mm,
don't you do this? But the players just look confused. They just
yeah.
don't seem to click and understand what to do.
Well, it'll be interesting to see if I feel like Xavi will eventually come to Barcelona. I feel like that's what's going to happen. But it'll be interesting
Well,
to see.
he will.
Yeah,
I think it's one of those things where he may not leave Al Sadd too
straight
early
away.
in the season because it is early
Yeah,
in the season. We're not even halfway.
yeah,
Um, I don't know when. I don't know if the Saudi season aligns
yeah. I
with
would
the
have
La
no
Liga
clue.
season or not.
Can't
But
say I watch it that much.
no, I've watched highlights. That's it.
Yeah,
But I don't know. So we'll
yeah.
we'll see when that happens. Until then, I'm just hoping we can come back into Champions League places,
Mm,
like
that'd be a
where I
start.
think 6 or 7 points behind the leaders,
Well,
or
isn't it
even just
like
Real Madrid. Real Madrid aren't even leading, so
it's like 3 points spread between. It's like 3 points difference between the top seven teams, isn't it? It's pretty close in the Liga right
yeah,
now, right?
yeah, it's very close in the Liga, and you've got
Yeah.
teams like Sociedad's up top. Like I said, you've got Real Madrid, Atletico Madrid, Sevilla, Betis.
Mm,
Um, a lot of teams playing great. So
yeah.
it's a Barcelona to suck. That's the
Mm.
way I like to put it.
Yeah, well, I mean, at the same time, for us, we suck with the squad that we have. It's kind
Yeah, I
of
mean, you guys have got an
it's a
awesome
bummer.
squad. The fact that you guys aren't top three is
Mm.
is devastating.
No, it's very
Harry
the fact
Maguire's a
that
joke, man.
The fact that West Ham. Can we talk about a second to talk about West Ham and how good that they're doing? They're fourth. David
You
Moyes,
know, you know how I don't support anyone in
insane.
the Premier League. Man,
Yeah,
West Ham are awesome. I
it's
really like
just
West
so good
Ham.
to watch, and this is like a
And
redemption for David Moyes.
Declan Rice is a
Man
different
hasn't had
human. You
this.
used to talk so much shit about Declan Rice, man. Declan Rice is built different. Mikel
Okay,
Antonio, different.
okay. I talk shit about Declan Rice, and I will still hold to the fact that he is not an 80 million player. I will still say
No,
that
that's
even
English
until
tax.
now.
That's English
Yeah,
tax. But I
that
agree with you there. But he's
yeah,
awesome.
but like yes, he is a
I
good
think he
player.
solves a lot of issues at United.
He does,
I
but
said
at this rate,
I said it.
I was
Him, if
watching.
you sign, no, hear me out, right? If you sign Declan Rice and Calvin Phillips, you solve 90% of your issues at United.
Yeah,
And
because 90%
and
of
you
our
sign a
issues is McFred. That gets rid
yeah,
of both of
that's what
them.
that's
Signing
what I'm
those
telling
two.
you. You sign those two, Calvin Phillips and Declan Rice, in the next couple of transfer windows. You guys are going to do good things.
Yeah, well, that defensive midfield spot is the worst.
And for God's sakes, give
Worst.
Donny Van de Beek a run. My
Well, get Eric
goodness,
Ten Hag, and
give him a
then he'll actually
game.
get a run in the team.
Yeah, the Dutch connection will be
No, I was
solid.
actually looking forward to that with like if Conte actually came in. Yeah, I was actually looking forward to Donny Van de Beek actually playing. But looks like that's not happening anytime soon. But what I was gonna say with
I don't
West
know what
Ham,
Ole
right?
has against him. It's weird.
No. What I was going to say with West Ham is and Declan Rice, like we were talking about. So I was watching Rio Ferdinand's podcast, right? And they were talking like about how Declan Rice, eventually wants to move on, will want to move on to a bigger team and everything, like the likes of United, who's been linked with him, Arsenal, and all of them. But it's just like when your team is playing that well, and you're from, you came from the youth academy, you'll want to win things with your team. And if you keep going up and up and up and up, then there's no reason for you to want to move anywhere else. If you move up and then there's regression after that, then you can like talk about that. But they're just going up, and it doesn't seem like they're stopping anytime soon.
Oh,
Fucking
well, they're
Lingard
playing
must be
awesome
kicking
football.
himself that he didn't join West Ham permanently. Imagine if they
Yeah,
still
because
had Lingard in the
he's
team.
not getting a game either, is he?
Not as much as he was at West Ham, but imagine if
Well, at West
if
Ham
they
he was
still
a
had him.
starter. At West Ham he was the
Yeah,
star of the show.
imagine if he was still there. Like at this point in time, imagine how much better they would be as well. Well, we
Yeah,
wanted
West
to be
Ham are class.
stingy. We were just like, you can have Lingard, but just, give us Declan real quick. That's essentially like what
Yeah,
we tried to do, which was never going to happen, not in a million years. Lingard's the good,
yeah.
he's not that good. But yeah,
Well, Barcelona's transfer
uh,
targets. Yeah.
just out of curiosity, because both our teams are shithouse. Like, how do you feel seeing all these teams above like just doing well, and we're just there, kind of like trying to play catch up to them? How does that make you feel?
Do you know what? It's I don't care. I don't care so much.
You don't
For
you don't
me,
have the face of someone who doesn't care. You
Hear
look
me
like
out.
you want
Hear
to
me
cry in a second now.
out. I will cry. Hold on. Let me get some tissues before I cry. Hear me out. Hear me out. I don't care so much that there's teams above, and I'll say
Mhm,
us. I'll say us, Barcelona. I don't
mhm,
care so much that there's teams above us because financial situations through the last couple years has been tough and it's been dire, and we haven't had the management that we needed, or the coaching wasn't good enough. So
mhm,
I'm not sad about the fact that Real Madrid, even Sociedad, um, Atletico Madrid are better than us at the moment. I'm not sad.
mhm,
What makes me sad is just the lack of creativity, the lack
mhm.
of
There is no vision. There's no
there is no
creativity.
vision, there is no aggression, there's no passion. That's exactly it though. There's no that's what makes me sad as a fan of Barcelona, but more importantly as a fan of football, and as a fan of football being played like nicely, which is what Barcelona's been known for over the years. When you think of Barcelona, you think of tiki taka, you think of Messi, you think Ronaldinho, you think Xavi, Iniesta, all these incredible players who were so talented in that little game,
Mhm,
not the whole game, but just a game of 3 versus 1 here, a game of 3 versus 1 there, because that's what the tactics were. You get that
mhm,
overload in on one person, and you get it, then you get it on two people, and all of a sudden you've got a whole side of the pitch that's overloaded, and you've got such great players that know how to work together. Oh, and at the end of the guy that you want at the end of it, he's also the best finisher, arguably, in let's not get into this debate right now,
mhm.
but one of the best finishers of all time, right? So
Yeah.
he's got 600 and almost 700 goals in his career. So, but we
Mhm,
don't have that anymore, you see.
mhm.
We don't have
Yeah.
that spectacular. We've got Memphis Depay and
Mhm.
leading the
And
charge.
Luke De Jong.
Got got
Don't forget about Luke De Jong.
let me talk sexy to you really quick. You got Luke De Jong.
Ah,
Huh?
that guy.
That get you
Yeah,
going?
it gets me going a bit. I wish
Are you
we
hard?
had Luke De Jong. I wish we had Luke De Jong, you know? Who
Oh,
doesn't want Luke De
honestly,
Jong in
you
their
take
team?
him, take him, please. I'll pay for it. I'll pay for his flight
Oh yeah.
out of the
Get him
goodness of
off the
my
wage
heart.
books. It's perfect. Make some money off of it. Perfect.
But that's the situation. That's what makes me sad as a
Mm.
fan.
Yeah.
But yeah, and I think I
For
speak for both of us there.
it does. I agree with that, and to add to that, it just makes me upset looking at the teams above us that have a system, that have a style of play, they're nice to watch, because we're not nice to watch at all. We don't have a style of play. We don't have anything to fall back on. Nothing. We just rely on just moments of brilliance, and that to me is what bothers me, and it bothers me that we don't have a manager who's capable of taking us to the next level, like Tuchel did, or like Guardiola or Klopp. He can't like he's taken us pretty much as far as I think he can. He did a great rebuild job, but it just that's the part that annoys me, that he's because it just feels that we're not at the level that we can be at, and we're not at the level that we should be at. That's what annoys me the most.
Yeah,
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 it's sad
definitely.
times. It's really sad times, and
Yeah,
I think that's why I think
it's.
Conte could have brought us to that level, because he is up there with one of the best managers
I
around
think
and
so.
of
Yeah,
all time, who's been around.
I agree with
Like
you.
the guy
Conte's a
said
great
himself,
manager,
he's a
and I think
serial,
I think what
he's a
he just
serial
did at
winner.
Inter Milan is proof. He's a serial winner.
Well, I think we'll round it off there. I think that
Yeah,
was we're over the 25 minutes, definitely, from what we were aiming for, but this is
ain't
good
that always the
discussion.
case?
Yeah, it was a good discussion, I reckon. It's
Yep,
good to be back after 3 weeks. There's going to
definitely,
be a lot more to
definitely.
talk about. Hopefully we can, we do live busy
International
lives
break coming up
and everything.
fairly
Yeah.
soon. Sucks,
But we've
but
got Champions League games midweek. We've got games obviously on the weekend. So big one like the Manchester Derby coming up and everything. So there'll be a lot to talk about hopefully next week.
yeah,
Hopefully we can
hopefully,
stay
yeah.
consistent. We always say this
Yeah, I
every
mean
podcast.
we've both been a little bit unwell as well, so
Mm,
it's what it
yeah.
is. But
It is what it is, but
yeah,
we'll try our best. But what you need to do is follow us on social media, because we're always posting on there. They'll be up there and anywhere basically. You know where to find us, even in the description. Yeah, we pretty much post, regularly, keep up to date with all the news and everything that's going on. Yeah, you got anything else
Thank
to
you
say
very
on
much
that?
for watching.
Mhm.
See ya.
Catch you in the next one. See ya.